So today we are going to be talking about D365 Business Central with Outlook and how all of the integrations can work out of the box. So just getting started, going over the agenda, we'll do some quick intros, what's coming up on the next webinars. We'll talk about centralized deployment. We'll talk about contact insights and document view. We will talk about setting up and sending emails from the system. We will walk through what the contact sync looks like, and then we will do some wrap up. The majority of this presentation will be done inside of Business Central, so I don't have a ton of slides. A lot of them are pretty high level just to kind of get us excited about what I'm going to show everybody. So quick intro on me. As David said, I am the Enterprise Engagement Team Lead here at Dynamic Consultants Group. I have been working with Business Central since 2018, and that is where I first saw it and fell in love with it. And I have been working with Business Central clients and prospects since then. Our next webinars, we have the very next one, and that is going to be talking about D365 Business Central with Teams, and that one is on April 11th. And then we have one about Excel and OneDrive and Word also, and those ones will be on May 23rd. And then the last one in this series will be on June 27th, and that's going to be PowerPoint, Power BI, and how all of those can be utilized with Business Central. So getting started, we are going to be talking about Outlook and Business Central. So we're going to walk through the centralized deployment piece. We're going to walk through deploying the centralized deployment for contact insights and both document view. We're going to walk through sending emails from the system and how that can work. And then we'll also set up that Exchange sync, so that way you can sync your contacts with Business Central and Outlook both. So the very first thing we're going to walk through is centralized deployment and that setup wizard. So utilizing the setup wizard, it is extremely nice because it does give you the ability just to walk through and click, and it tells you exactly what to do and where to click for each one of these individual pieces. This is extremely helpful because a lot of times your Office 365 admin, the person who's going to need to be able to do this, may not have all of the experience with Business Central and know how to do things inside of the system. So this is a step-by-step walkthrough to give them everything that they need to be able to go deploy the apps over in the M365 space. Centralized deployment, what exactly that is it allows you to select either specific or all users, whether it's an individual user or a group of users within the organization. It's going to provide that security for people who can and cannot use the application. So if you don't want all of your users to be able to pull up contact insights or send email from the system, you have the ability to use centralized deployment and the security pieces to set that up for you. How? Like I said, it is going to walk you through an assisted setup guide. So this is going to help everybody with the task of configuration once you get over into the admin center. Contact insights and the document view piece. This is what you're going to deploy, and this is all going to be visible inside of Outlook. So when you're inside of Outlook, this is the different views you can see, and we'll walk through what all of those look like in a couple different use cases as well on how to really empower users by using all of the tools necessary and reducing clicks, which is going to in turn save them time. So I'm going to go ahead and jump over into my Business Central tenant, and we are going to deploy and walk through what that looks like for deploying those Outlook apps, and then also walking through what that centralized deployment screen looks like. So coming over here, we're going to jump into the Business Central window. And when you're in this screen, this is your role center, you have the ability to go to your assisted setup. Everything that you need to do, all of the different wizards, they're all going to be set up inside of this assisted setup screen. So first things first, you're going to want to set up your outgoing email. We'll walk through that for here in a little bit, but we are worried about centralized deployment right now. So all the way down here where it says do more with Business Central, these are all of the different applications, the M365 apps that we're used to using. We can go ahead and run for centralized deployment. I've already done it in my screen. That's why it's giving me a message saying, hey, this has already been done. Do you want to redo it? So when we're in our Outlook centralized deployment, it's telling us what the different requirements are. It's explaining that this does not change permissions inside of Business Central. It is only adding for outside of the system. So I'm going to go ahead and hit next. Again, some privacy information. And then it's going to say, this is what you need. So my Outlook add-in centralized deployment, I want to deploy both Document View and Contact Insights. For this, you have to download the packages. So I'm going to go ahead and hit download and continue. And then it's going to take you through the different steps. So here, now that the files are downloaded, we are going to go ahead, walk into the integrated app screen. We're going to upload our custom apps, and then we'll walk through what that looks like. So it even gives a link. I can go ahead and click, go to my admin center, and it opens up to my specific views. So this is my integrated apps. And if we were to deploy these, I would just come in here and I would say upload custom apps. We would change this to an Office add-in. I would be able to upload that manifest file. So we can choose which file it is. And I'm going to come over here and let me go ahead and pull that guy in real quick. And we have to extract all. And when we're choosing this file, you do, like I said, we do have to extract. And when you're doing that, it's going to give you a couple options. So it pulls in the file. It's going to upload and validate. Mine's already been there. So I'm going to go ahead and hit view. Once this pops up, then it would show you what that centralized deployment is. So you can go through, update it. You can go through and pick the individual users. And then once this is done and you've deployed your applications, all of your users should have access. Sometimes it takes a few hours, but overall, this is a pretty quick and easy process to be able to use this add-in for Business Central. So once you have both files down or uploaded, your custom apps, once they're both uploaded into Outlook, then we should be able to go through the different pieces inside of Business Central. So we've deployed the apps, and then we can go ahead and say done. And when that's done, now we have applications to be able to use over inside of Business Central, or over inside of Outlook, I apologize. So there's a couple different areas where this is extremely important. Up here, so I'm currently inside of the web app. This is going to work either on the web app or the application that you install on your computer. So it works in both places. It's not a one or the other. The nice thing about this, so I'm going to start with my Contact Insights. When I come in and I have an email from a customer, this one specifically, it's, can you send me a quote request for the following items? So this person, they didn't say what their company name was or anything else. So if I wanted to find that information out, I can click on my Business Central app and I can go to Contact Insights. This is going to go through my Business Central company and make sure that this person's in my system. So it's going to read through. It found the contact, which is amazing. So now I have my customer card. I can see they don't have any open document, or there's no attachments on their account. Their balance, past due, their total sales, all of the different things for this specific customer. So I do have some ongoing sales quotes already. So they would like to get a quote for these items. So I can come in here and I want to create a new sales quote. So I can come in and if I click on new document, sales quote, this is Business Central inside of my window here. It makes it extremely easy because I can see the email while I'm in this pane. And one thing you'll notice is it's reading through the email. We think we found one or more items that match the text. So it read through my email. It's using the automation and it's using that integration to read the email and also the body of it. So I can see here my Paris guest chairs. Yes, that is definitely an item. The Athens desk, that is also one on there. My Amsterdam, and then this one. So the other two were kind of weird. They didn't really fit with anything, but it thought that's what it wanted. You'll also notice that there is a quantity, so it did get those ones right. I can come up here though, if this is my Paris guest chair, we can go ahead and add that as a 30. And my Athens desk, we're gonna put a 15 there. And then I can come in here, say okay, and this creates my sales quote. So from this email, I quickly was able to generate a sales quote with all of the information on it from that specific customer, from that contact. It puts the items in there. It also puts item specific pricing. So if I had specific pricing for this customer, it would pull all of that information in. So I can see here the total, I can see what that looks like. And now I need to send off a quote. So I want to go ahead and send this off. So I can send it by email, or I can just attach this as a PDF. There's quite a few different options in here, which makes it really nice. If we had approvals, I would be able to send my approval request from here as well. But I'm going to go ahead and just say, send this off by email. So it's creating my email for me so I can send it off to the customer. So there we go, sales quote, hello, Unicorn Capturing Services, thanks for your business. There's the quote for total, and it also puts in there my PDF document as well. So it makes it extremely easy for me to generate that quote, get the information in the system, and then send this off to the customer as soon as possible. So now we have everything. I'm going to go ahead and push send, and now that's off. So that is the contact insights piece of the system with the document creation. So the other part of the applications that we deployed was what's called document view. Document view is extremely nice when you are working with approvals. So inside of Business Central, you have approval workflows, and those approval workflows can allow you to send off email notifications requesting approval. I have one here sitting inside of my inbox that I just sent off a few minutes ago. And I can see here multiple things have happened. I have a purchase invoice that requires my approval. This one has been canceled. I can see all of this information. However, I don't want to just reply. I don't want to have to go into the system. Let's say you're on your phone and you want to be able to do this. Lots of different ways that we can do this, but the nice thing here, if we hover over the purchase invoice number here, it's pulling up that document view. So I can open that document up without having to log into Business Central. I can put it in a bigger tab or in a bigger pane for me. I can walk through, I can see all of the information. It's pending approval. I can see who sent it, when they sent it, all of that information, and this required nothing extra for me except for hovering over that email. So we can go ahead and here, if you wanted to open up the document or open up Business Central as another tab, you can also use this link here, and this just opens up another tab directly to that document. So you can view from email, or we can view from this screen. If you want to approve it, since it is pending approval, you can come in and you can go ahead and do all of those different things from here. So I can approve, I can add comments, I can reject it. If there was anything else that I wanted to do, put comments on this, all of that information can be done right here from Outlook, and I never have to leave this screen if I don't want to. So utilizing Outlook with Business Central, it really gives you the capability to do more and to do it better. You're going to reduce your human error if you don't have to flip back and forth between screens. And it just really puts all of your information in one place and makes it easy to use. So I'm going to go ahead and jump back over into my Business Central screen. And we did the Outlook centralized deployment screen. The very next thing that we want to do, actually, let me go back into my PowerPoint. The next thing that I want to kind of walk through is setting up and sending the email. So again, we have a wizard. The wizards make everything easier. So this is going to walk through the different steps that you need to do to set up your email. So that way you can send emails from the system, not just one individual person, but all users that enter. And when you set up your email, you can also set it up to use Contact Sync. This Contact Sync is going to allow you to sync contacts between Business Central and Outlook. So if you're out and about and you need to contact somebody, if you're a salesperson and you have your contacts all inside of Business Central and you need to contact somebody, you don't have to be sitting in front of your computer. You have the ability to quickly pull up that contact list. And it's really nice because it puts it in its own individual folder. So you can tell the difference from where each one of these contacts come from. And you can see that right here. So it does put a category of Business Central tied to those. So you can quickly see those Business Central contacts, where they came from, and it tags them so you can sort them accordingly. All right, so now I'm going to go back into Business Central and we will walk through setting that up. So this is where we're going to go all the way back up to the top, where I said we're going to set up our outgoing email. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my email account page. The wizard, if this was the first time, it would let you go through the wizard, but I'm just going to go ahead and go to my email account page. So as you can see here, I have two different accounts. I have my current user account, and then we also have another account that's kind of shared for everybody in the organization. If you want to add a new account, when you walk through, you say set up email, and this again is a wizard that walks you through. So different account types, you can use Microsoft 365 shared mailboxes. So if this is something you want to send from AP@companyname.com or AR@companyname.com, any of those shared mailboxes that you are utilizing, this will really make it easier for sales invoices to go out from AP. Payables documents or remittance information to come from that vendor or from the email that's associated to people who do purchasing or payables, something along those lines. The current user is going to be anybody who signed in from their current account, which is generally what I do just for demo purposes. Shared mailbox is definitely the easier way to go. And then you also have your SMTP. So if you're not currently using a cloud-based solution, you can always use SMTP. It's not my favorite, but it is an option. So it allows everybody to utilize the system. So if we did a Microsoft 365, again, it just asks what the account name is, the email address, and then we would be able to walk through the different steps of what we need. If we did SMTP, we would go ahead and hit next. And again, account name, specific users, all of the standard information that you would put in. There's even apply Office 365 just in case that's the one that you need. And then once this is all set up, you have your email information. So I'm going to go ahead and go there to my current account. It's already set as default. That's where I'm generally going. But if I wanted to send an email or send a test email, I can go ahead, send that off, send it to my email address. and now it's been sent. So it is an extremely easy process to set this up. And it's one of those things to make users' lives easier. It's a quality of life feature to just make business processes a little bit smoother throughout the day. So I'm going to go ahead now and jump back out of here. And on the home page, once you set up your users for your emails, now you have the ability to send emails from the system. So if I had my invoices that I need to send out to my customers, I'm going to go ahead and go into my sales invoices. And I'm going to open up an invoice and we will go ahead and try to print and send it. So I'm going to go ahead and we will post and send. How do I want to send it? We will go ahead and do email. We'll prompt for settings. The email attachment. This is really nice. Do you want to do an electronic document, PDF, or both? It gives you the flexibility to use those tools. So I'm going to go ahead and say okay. And then it's going to walk through the posting. It'll walk through getting all of that information out there. And I should have a pop-up box here in just a few moments that's going to put my information there. So it's coming from my current user. If you had multiple users in your system that you were trying to set up or that you wanted to send emails from, you can always change it here. So this will allow me to change which user it's coming from. I can also adjust the subject if I need to. If I needed to add any additional CC or BCC users, it will pull in the entity. Makes it super nice so you can go through and see the different people and what their responsibilities are. And then down here, it put in my Word template. So I use Word templates to create the bodies of my email. And we'll go into that at our webinar in May. We'll walk through how setting up those Word templates works. But here I have all of the information regarding the document, regarding that sales invoice, and it also adds that sales invoice down to the bottom. So from here, we can go ahead and hit send this email off, and now it's been sent. It's been posted, it's been sent, and that email is done. So after those emails are all sent, they will show up down here in your email activities. This is a very good window for you to quickly see what emails have been sent out, if anything has failed, or if anything's left in a draft status. So as you can see here, I have 2 failed emails. The emails, if I wanted to resend them, I can look at the errors, see why they failed. I can go through and investigate, or I could resend these emails. This is also extremely nice. So if your emails do go through and you have a customer and they called and said, "Dear sir, I have not received my invoice. Can you please resend it?" This is going to pull up all of your sent emails. So you can quickly come in here and say, okay, this Business Central document, this sales invoice, I just want to resend it. All I have to do is hit resend, and now it's going to be sent out. I don't have to go pull the invoice again. I can quickly just open up my sent emails window and have all of the information there. All right. So kind of looking through the next steps, we've sent the emails, we've seen the different pieces. So the next piece of this is really going to be doing that Exchange Sync setup and walking through how to sync your Business Central contacts. So this is again an Exchange process. So I'm going to go up to the top and we're going to search for Exchange. I go to Exchange Sync Setup. I can see here that it's for the admin. There's my authentication email. I can validate the connection. And then there's a couple options. There's a booking sync setup, and then there's also the contact sync. So if I wanted to go to contact sync, I can see the last sync date and time. I can enable it, and then I just simply hit sync. Once you set this up and enable it, it will just continuously run for you. So any changes that are made, anything else, you can quickly get that information reflected back over into your Outlook. So you always have the latest and greatest information. The activity logs will tell you if something failed, what happened, why it failed, all of those different pieces. You can always go into view details, and it will show you that information here. So I'm going to go ahead and close that out, and then we'll jump back into Outlook quickly and look at those contacts. So I'm going to go ahead and go to People. And this should be pretty familiar. Most people utilize contacts within Business Central. So I have an entire contact list, but if I go to my Business Central categories that it created for me, I can quickly see everybody within Business Central. It shows me their address, it shows the company, and I have the ability to edit the contact as well. So with the right permissions, if I was allowed to push data back into Business Central, if I was allowed to make contact changes with my settings and my user permissions that I have in Business Central, I would be able to do that. You can also look at any files, anything that you've done with this individual, it will all show here. So there's quick access. Again, it puts everything in one place and just really makes it easy for everybody to use. And then the very last thing that I want to show, and this again is just a quality of life, and I may be too excited about it, but when I send emails from the system, since I have it tied to current user, it also reflects in my sent box. So I will always be able to go back and see which emails were sent from the system. I can quickly see the different sales invoices, the different documents that have been sent out of Business Central without having to log back in. They'll always show up in my sent box, just so it's a little bit easier to access. All right. So we have went through quite a bit. We walked through setting up the centralized deployment, how to utilize those contact insights, creating documents, sending responses to the customers, viewing those documents and being able to approve requests inside of the system. We also walked through sending out emails, resending, and then that contact sync inside of Business Central as well. So now let me go back to our PowerPoint. And that is a pretty big overview of what the Outlook integration can really do for an organization. So I'm going to go ahead and go back real quick to the next webinars that are coming up. Like I said, 523 or 411, I'm sorry, we will walk through the Teams integration. So on 411 at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, we will walk through Teams, and that will be how to set up the integration, how to deploy. We'll walk through centralized deployment for that application again as well. And then all of the different features. And I am looking forward to that one because there are some new things that are coming out with the new release. So we will definitely have a few other things to dig into coming up on the next few webinar series. So with that being said, if there are any questions or if you would like to receive the presentation materials, sign up for the next webinar, please feel free to scan this QR code and this will give you access to everything. And we hope that we will see you next time.